Hi, I'm Patrick Smith, and welcome to today's segment of Gov Conversations with Debbie White, Senior Product Director at Deltek. Today we'll be discussing the Material Management and Accounting System Audit, also referred to as the MMAS.
Hi Debbie, thanks for joining us today. As we've spoken before, project manufacturing has its own set of challenges. What additional compliance regulations are required for the aerospace and defense manufacturers?
The aerospace and defense manufacturer must adhere to all the standard accounting and cost accounting standards as related to materials management, but they also must follow any regulations set aside by DFARS in relationship to your materials management and accounting systems. Auditors have the opportunity to come in and audit how you comply against these particular rules set aside by DFARS. There are 10 key elements, or otherwise called MMAS standards, that the government contractor must follow. And these standards are kind of around how you follow your policies and procedures within your company. And these policies and procedures are related to ordering material, planning material, bill of material accuracy, all the way through having complete audit trails and complete compliance against those projects.
You mentioned planning as being an important process to follow. What will the auditors evaluate from that perspective?
From a planning perspective, the auditors really look at three key things. They're going to look at our bill of materials, they're going to look at how we plan purchase parts, and how we plan our production orders. Looking at the bill of materials, because we develop or we manufacture highly complex, highly engineered products, we go through a lot of iterations, a lot of changes, and we must be able to react to these changes properly. Whether they're customer changes or changes that the engineer are doing, the auditors are going to look for a 98% accuracy. So they're going to really come in and scrutinize how you process engineering change orders and how these changes affect the cost of your projects. From a purchase part perspective, we're going to look at lead times. We're going to analyze whether you're ordering material to arrive in time, any expediting fees or anything like that we're going to look at. We're also going to take a look at whether you're ordering material too far in advance. And then from a production standpoint, how are we placing our manufacturing orders? Do we have the capacity? Do we have the resources to meet our customer demand?
Are there specific rules for tracking inventory?
Inventory becomes very interesting for the project manufacturer. Not only do you have to track the inventory within your warehouse, you actually have to track each part to the project that owns that part. Adds a whole other layer of complexity to warehousing and to the stockroom. One of the 10 key elements actually states you can commingle parts in the same location as long as they're tagged to the project that owns those parts. Secondly, if you need to borrow or pay back parts, so if you're borrowing from one project and loaning to another project, you need to have specific rules set aside for that. And you have to make sure that the loaning project's costs stay intact. They cannot be charged more for loaning a part out.
It sounds like the business systems are really critical for complying with MMAS. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Your business systems are extremely critical for complying with MMAS. One, you have to be able to track all of your processes, improve those processes. Two, you have to have a complete audit trail from the time you procure the part through customer delivery of that part. And being in aerospace and defense, that even adds another layer of complexity because you also have to track the serial and lot numbers you're delivering. And then three, you need to have the planning mechanism. You need to have a master production schedule or an MRP system that can help you plan those materials and make sure that you're reacting to any risk or action messages that come out of your MRP planning when vendors can't deliver in time or customers change their due dates.